Merry Christmas, or as some of us like to think of it, Merry Boxing Day Testmas Eve. Uh, oh, that's very nice. He's got little Santa dog hats. I've gone with red, a borrowed shirt, Christmassy type thing. But what have we been doing on Christmas Day, Bharat? We've been down here at the Nets, of course. Where would you rather be on Christmas morning?
It's a perfect place to be on Christmas morning because, you get to see these cricketers come out with their gifts. Bullshit. No, we just here just to watch them do what they do day in and day out. It's not too different for Christmas. At least like in the past, you'd see a lot of kids come in, like players' kids come. David Warner would be there, bowling bouncers to tiny kids. But well, it wasn't. It wasn't one of those Christmas mornings.
That was just when he was in a good mood.
That was, yeah, exactly. And we have to speak about David Warner and our little tete-a-tete with him. Is that going on air? I think it should, but we'll come to that later.
Okay.
For now, yeah, it was just Manas Labuschagne batting, Steve Smith batting, Michael Neser bowling beautifully in the nets. It was just a classic Christmas morning.
Yeah, it's also like, I don't know how the players handle it, but if I were a batter, I would get really annoyed at how much noise Marnus Labuschagne makes when he's bowling. Every ball is out or so close to getting out. Yeah, that would be really annoying. But India didn't train today. But let's talk a bit about India. You've made some bold predictions on selection. He's always right. He's always right. So who do you think's coming in and who's going out?
Look, I think Jadeja has a definite look in because India has been sweating over his fitness for a while. When he got injured in Canberra, concussion, hamstring, but it was the hamstring that India were concerned about, like considering looking forward to the test series. They'd given him a 3-week window. I think exactly 3 weeks today since that happened. He seems to have recovered. I saw him sprinting and then batting in the nets and then bowling in the middle in Adelaide. But we've seen him in the last couple of days. He's bowled a lot. He's batted a lot. And he's just looked really like in a good space. And yesterday when we were just about to leave, he came back out and he was put through what looked like a very brief fitness test. We had to sprint up and down the pitch and he ran a quick 3, without the pads on of course, in 8 seconds, which is pretty good. So Jadeja's fit and he'll bolster not just India's batting, but bowling, but fielding.
Yeah.
Look, he's averaged 53 with the bat in the last 3 years in Test cricket. Yes, most of that has come in the subcontinent, but we saw him, the form he was in before he got injured in the white ball stuff. So he comes in with a lot of confidence. And India have 5 bowlers. And it's also just the third time that Ashwin and Jadeja will play together outside the subcontinent. So that is something to look forward to.
That's amazing to think that that's the case, isn't it?
Exactly, because it's always been one or the other, or they've thrown Karan Sharma in, like had happened in Adelaide in 2014. So that'll be an interesting aspect. And of course, Shubman Gill will make his debut in place of Prithvi Shaw. We will touch on Prithvi Shaw a little later, but Shubman Gill looked, I thought, the best of the batsmen in the nets in the last couple of days. So he comes in at the top of the order. My only issue, of course, your friend Rishab Pant is playing.
Hello, Wagon. Can we get to the important selection is that Rishab Pant will almost certainly play. And it's sad for Saha because he's been a great servant for India. It may well be very difficult for him to come back barring any injury. But this is a huge opportunity for Rishab, who I might say I love the alphaness of it. Just to alpha Saha, I think, in the nets, he did come out and at one point was batting without a helmet. Sure, it was to the spinners, but I thought it was an alpha move, man.
It was basically the Indian team's Christmas gift, not just to Mel, but also to Ben Jones. Merry Christmas to you, Benny. Rishab Pant back, and it looks like he's going to bat at number 6 and Jadeja at 7. They can always swap around. And yeah, the only other change that we thought might happen was whether KL Rahul will come in. But I think for now, India will stick with Hanuma Vihari. We saw him bat at number 4 in all 4 innings in the warm-up games. And well, he got 2 really, really good deliveries in the Adelaide Test. And he looked okay. He hung around for 20 balls in that carnage that was 36 all out. So he deserves another go. I think India will stick with him. It's just a question of Siraj or Saini, coming in for Shami. I thought it was Siraj, but we saw Saini bowl really quick, didn't we?
Yesterday, he was a demon. Yeah. He was an absolute demon in the nets. And it was funny, actually, he and Siraj were sort of in the bowl-off net. Yeah, and yesterday, but he was in the bowl-off net with Natarajan, and I got all excited for a second. But Natarajan was also bowling really, really well. Yeah. But Saini just, he looked just, he was bowling faster than he has in the nets all tour, I reckon.
Yeah, but we also have to take into note that most of them bowl off for 20 yards. So
Ah,
a
yeah.
lot of no balls that are being bowled in the nets, and
Yeah.
Saini was really getting it to go. But yeah, Natarajan beat Pujara and Rahane outside edge and inside edge in the space for 15 minutes. So he's, Mel and I will be the happiest, as happy as she is that Rishab Pant is back or is likely to be back. I think when Natarajan makes his debut, I think that'll put a big smile on Mel's face.
I will be almost excited as you are when they finally select Michael Neser. He was bowling off spin today
He
in the nets. And
was.
I thought he was going to pop a blood vessel in his forehead.
And you saw how happy he was. He also told us that it was the first time he was bowling off spin since his school days. And he was still landing them. That's talent for you. And look, what Nathan Lyon is 32, 33. Maybe he'll play for 2 or 3 years. And then, Michael Neser comes in as the new ball bowler who then bowls off spin.
He can do it all. He can do everything. Well, what about the rest of the Australians? Basically, it's just felt like business as normal for them. Still, Joe Burns doing quite a lot of work with Justin Langer, but we noticed a change in the language that Justin Langer was using when he was Langer with the Wanger, in particular, Langer with the Wanger, sending them down to him.
Yes, it went from nice 2 days ago to good yesterday, and today I just went beautiful. And for me that meant that yes, he's happiest with Joe Burns. And like you said, Joe Burns hasn't looked like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's looked a lot more relaxed. He is batting well, his feet are moving much better, he's dealing with the short ball a lot better. So I think Joe Burns is coming into some decent sort of form, but Langer most importantly is very happy with him. We saw the hug that they exchanged at the end of the last test, so good signs for Joe Burns. He's a hard worker and it's coming off.
And we did also see David Warner come back, as you mentioned, and I think it's fair to say that we've possibly saved him from what could have been a terrible injury. Is that right?
Absolutely. So this is what happens, folks. So Mel and I are there in the nets as always, and the Australian team is left. But what we did notice was the far net. There were some balls which are just jumping off a length, especially with the Wanger or the sidearm or the robo arm, as Raghu calls it. And Manas Labuschagne at one point, yes, to use an Australian expression, he does put a little mayo on this and that. But
Don't use that expression. I ban you.
no, I've used it on radio once and I got a big laugh out of it. But he actually walked out of the net because there was a couple of balls that jumped up. And then the Australian team leaves, and then we see David Warner and Sean Abbott come for a late session. This is them, because they're not part of the bubble, so they couldn't practice with the Australians.
So basically, at this point, pretty much everyone else is gone, except for us, because we're sad people.
And we haven't even started talking about how we noticed Siraj run leave and felt very happy about it. But maybe we've done enough of that on Twitter. But
one for Sri Lanka fans.
It was, yeah, exactly.
But we were, as soon as he walked in, you went, oh no, not that net.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, what do we do?
Exactly. And I was like, Mel, I don't know him at all. Maybe you should have a word with him. Maybe you should tell him. And Mel goes like, David. And I don't know. He maybe didn't hear you. Mel felt, oh, we have a furry little friend in the video. Oh, hello.
Hello, puppy.
Hello. And that's... No, that's all.
We are completely live. No, it's quite okay. This is probably the most interesting thing that's happened in the whole video.
Yeah, I know.
You just raised the standards. Merry Christmas.
Special guest appearance, yeah. Just like David Warner's special guest appearance that evening, we weren't expecting to see him. So he walks into the nets and Mel goes, Dave. He doesn't listen, and then Mel goes, David! And then he, of course, does turn around. And we told him what happened in the nets. I don't think he believed us 100%, but he asked the team doctor who was there and actually did not face a ball in the net. So there you go, Cricket Australia.
You have us to thank when David Warner actually comes back, because he was going to be facing Sean Abbott in that net, which was not, I don't think, you didn't see lots of people bowling fast in that net, put it that way.
I just realized a lot of Indians will be watching this video. I apologize. I let down my country, that's what I mean. Yeah. I've sold my soul to Australia, there you go.
We would have done that for any batter who was coming back from injury and you saw them go into that net. You would have said something. It's karma. Spread the love. It's Christmas.
But speaking of Joe Burns and Justin Langer, we also did see Prithvi Shaw, the other opener who might lose his spot for this test, work a lot with Ravi Shastri and Vikram Rathore, the batting coach, and we saw some technology being brought into it as well, Mike.
Well, they were basically filming him, and they had the iPad there straight away, and so he would be batting, and then he would trot down, and they would be checking the footage through with him and working through stuff. Then he would go down, and he would bat again, and then come down. So it's quite an intense sort of process, really. It was highly scrutinized. It turns around and he sees us at the other end. That's probably, is that more intimidating?
I think so, yeah. I think we are creating quite an intimidating aura around us. Like every time Manas or Steve Smith also walks into the nets, after every ball, they look up. I gave him a very knowing nod yesterday when he got one right, and he gave me a nod back. I thought, but I don't know.
He was actually just sneezing, but
I'm going to take it, accept it as a nod. But it looked like Prithvi Shaw has been given a task to work on something specific with his technique, and if he works it out, maybe he gets his chance later in the series, because he did not face any of the bowlers. It was only that one net which was being like videotaped. I'm saying how old school am I? But yeah, it was being recorded, and like Mel said, they were studying footage and working on certain things. So, a lot to look forward to. It's Boxing Day Eve, or is it Christmas Day?
Boxing Day Test Eve, and it's Christmas Day. And can I just say, there's nowhere I'd rather be on Christmas morning when everyone else is having fun than hanging out the nets like a real saddo with you.
But we do it with a smile on our face. That's what matters. And look, we picked up a lot of clues and a lot of intros from the net, which is really what the secret sauce is.
Read his pieces for the intros throughout this Boxing Day test, and we'll be back for some more chat. And to all of you out there, I know a lot of you are having a really tough time this Christmas, so our thoughts are very much with you. We know how lucky we are to be here. So I hope wherever you are, however you are, whether you're celebrating it or not, a happy Christmas and or a festive holiday.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas. Big smile, big smile. Just keep smiling, guys. I know it's been a very, very tough year, and there is, I'm not going to stand here and say 2021 is going to be a great year. Whatever happens, just keep smiling, and, next day will just be better. The sun will rise.
We hope. See you tomorrow.